Welcome back to LCS opening day for Game 3, FlyQuest and Shopify Rebellion.
I was born in Iraq, the city Baghdad, in 2004. I think that is just around the year where the war started. Like, I was only a year old before we left. All my extended family, like my grandparents, my uncles, my cousins, they all stayed in Iraq. So it was a tough decision. Whenever I think about the sacrifices my parents made, I feel like I have to push myself forward whenever I make a goal, no matter how tired I would feel or no matter how much I feel like it was unachievable. Just because whenever I remember how much was sacrificed for me to even have the opportunity, it would feel like a slap in the face to half-ass my effort.
We head on to the Rift for Game 3 of our opening weekend.
ماما بابا يلا بسرعة اللعبة بدأت يلا يلا
بسرعة بسرعة لعبة ماسو يوسف قوم من هناك يا يوسف
لا
الله عليك قوم مكاني هذا دخنك صاير
يا بدأ فوفو يو
FlyQuest, are they in trouble at this point? Doesn't find Busio, gets clipped, the shockwave into the encore, it's a lot of damage into the kicker, Wall Turtle is forced to flash. Smoking tries to come in, but it's a little too late. If he goes down, there's going to be banned to the side of FlyQuest.
FlyQuest was ready for that one.
The last defense will not be made by Shopify Rebellion, and it is FlyQuest opening weekend day with a statement win.
New year, new FlyQuest, and they are taking their time with this one.
My name is Fahad Abdul Malik. I'm the ADC for FlyQuest, and some people know me as Massu.
هلا يا ولد
مبروك
فوفو
شكرا عمري.
افتح الكاميرا
هلا وحبيبي مبروك
أهلا.
مبروك يا بلد بعفي عليك
يعني عفي
يا
عليكم
حبيبي.
بالبداية يعني فززتونا احنا قلنا راحت اللعبة
يعني ما عرفنا شنو نسوي.
يلا
بعدين يعني.
لا المهم
أهم
رجعتوا
شي
المهم
النتيجة،
يعني
أهم
بالضبط
شي النتيجة.
المهم يعني استعدتوها حبيبي
You did very well. So happy.
شكرا قوي.
حبيبي
حياتي
عفي عليك يا بلد
This is my rookie year, and it's been a pretty insane roller coaster, I would say. I did feel pretty homesick for the first while, because it was my first time living alone. I'm so used to hearing my dad stomp around the house or hearing my siblings say stupid stuff. I was kind of just getting used to living alone and having nobody there to kind of take care of me as well. So visiting home was a nice few days.
اهلا شو كنت جيت؟ بعد ليش ما تقول لي انا اطلق من المطار؟
All my ethics and manners come from the closely knitted culture in Iraq, which I didn't get to experience directly in the country, but I got to live it through my family, of course. So I don't really remember anything at all, other than stories that I've heard from my sister, brother, or my dad or mom.
It's always nice to have these old pictures with you. But
Was this grandma's house?
yep, so we would spend a lot of our time in our grandmother's house whenever us and our cousins would all come together. That was before the war, so everything was still relatively peaceful. The neighborhood itself was very friendly.
Do you remember when we had the PlayStation 2 and then we had a shared room?
Mm-hmm.
At first it was Yusuf and I, and then it was you and I, do you remember?
Yeah.
And then we just played on the carpet.
Yeah.
I still remember, it was like a cartoon dinosaur carpet.
That's where we first Fahad started gaming with us. I'd get stuck on a mission for an hour with many of these puzzle games. I would just not be able to solve something, and then he would just do it himself and then teach me how to do it. So yeah. In these pictures, Fahad was so 1 year old. Yeah.
That's when our dad had his accident, and that's Fahad in his lap, and then Yusuf and I.
At the time, they told me it was an accident. Mom and Dad just did their best to make us feel like everything is normal, everything is fine.
My dad and mom would like play it off as something not too serious, as to not scare the kids. But you know, now that they tell the stories, they realize that like sometimes like a close neighborhood would get bombed, or sometimes, you know, like something very dangerous could happen close to them. My dad told me a little bit about when he got into a accident because he was a victim of like a kidnapping attempt, and I am not sure why he was like, why those people wanted to kidnap him. It might have been because of his profession as a doctor, or it might have been just for, like, for a ransom.
It was a conflict time in Iraq. On February 9th, 2005, at morning time, while on my way home, I realized after a while there's two cars. First it was one car, and after I realized two cars were trying to stop me. And that specific time, the kidnap was on the top of the situation there. I swear of the God, I never surrender, because you and your family gonna be in a torture way. So I accelerated in a crazy way. I hit one of the cars and accelerated to run away. And after that, the second car stayed after me. I couldn't stop my car. The traffic was stopped there. So I rolled over for 4 times. I just hit a car in the front of me. I still remember that car because it was the last flashing before the accident. It was Dodge red color. With that accident, I think they left me. The car totally smashed. I had an injury to my left knee, but I'm lucky that I'm still alive. And that's why I have a special relationship with Fahad, because I stayed for 9 months, 8 months at home. Usually the closest one to me was Fahad. I'm blessed because of him. He was just 2 months old at that time. It wasn't safe anymore to stay, especially for the kids. Today it happened with me, tomorrow they're gonna try again, and even for one of the kids. So it was difficult to stay. That's why we decided to leave.
On one side, I feel really lucky that I got a chance to grow up without having to worry about, you know, the implications of the war. And then the other part where it's like, I feel pretty terrible for what they had to go through.
I left my childhood memory, a lot of friends, families. I remember till now when my father, God bless his soul, when he told me, "We have only one son. We don't want to lose you. Just go out. Just go out. It's a conflict period of time. Just go out. We don't know what's going on." So it was against my wishes. I decided to go and to take my kids, my wife, to a better life, to say I am lucky because I had a lot of them, they couldn't have that chance. It was a very difficult time.
What he wanted for me in the end was like just a secure future. So then, of course, when he heard the idea of playing video games for a living, it was like hard for him to even believe it. The opportunity of this, it's like something I was working pretty consistently towards. It's something that my friends and my brother also pushed me towards. I know it was one that I could only get once.
As an academic family, we wished him to be like, as his parents, to be a physician or whatever academic. but I couldn't stop in his way. So I sat with him. I saw that passion and love in his eyes when he's talking about League of Legends. For sure, I was zero knowledge. I have no background about what's the meaning of League of Legends. When he started to explain for me, Yusuf, he explained more. I said, so you love it? You want it? He said, I love it. I want to go for it. At that time, I stopped. I realized because maybe if I affecting him by my decision, maybe he's gonna lose both sides.
I never thought I would leave home this early, and especially because in Arab culture, the kids even once they start working, they stay home for a while. When I was a kid, I would always tell them I'll never leave you, always stay around and take care of you guys. He said, because of how much you said that, he was sure I was gonna leave first.
Usually when we leave together as a family. Whenever we keep as a member of 5. We never separated. He was the first child to left home, which we never used to. All of a sudden, Fahd, he is not in his room. So it was a very difficult time for, Now he is there. It was shock for the whole family. But I was so happy for him. I am so proud of him. We are so proud of him. So yes, I have to say that I am lucky that even if I can say it's a sacrifice that we made, me and mom, to reach them to a better life, now we are gaining what we planned for.
Where you going, my brown-eyed son? You used to crawl, but now you run.
Massu now takes a step forward.
You started off on a road half dark.
Oh, he's looking, he cleanses it! Massu!
And the river pulled into a question mark.
Massu makes sure he gets the ball. Oh! He cut the tape flowers. The new kids are rocking Cloud9.
Let's go back. Get out and see the world.
But Massu is fighting out. Massu is still alive.
Let's go back.
And it's a triple. Heading on over to Massu.
It's just, no matter what I do, just make sure that my parents didn't do and go through everything they went through for nothing. I just really wanted to make a vow to myself to try my hardest to not make their sacrifices go to waste.